Hi, I'm Olivia Sayward, and I offer quantum healing hypnosis sessions. These are journeys where you connect to your subconscious or your higher self, depending on what term you feel more connected to. But basically, these are journeys that just get you closer to the feeling of your soul. And in these sessions, we go over the topics that are happening in your life and kind of bring them into balance or resolution, or sometimes it's about experiencing an emotion that we haven't had in a long time. If we had uh, a long maybe chapter of depression or have been suffering from anxiety or are just going through like big transitions in our life due to job loss, getting a child, someone close to you passing. Just these like threshold moments in life where we're moving from one version of ourselves to the next, then these sessions are a great help to get oriented in that time and just receive energy and insight that can help us on our path. And occasionally these sessions are just purely about receiving energy and support from the beings that we can't see, but who are helping us all the time. And today, so you can find the information about that on my website and get in touch. And today I wanted to just talk a little bit about how mushrooms have influenced this work, in my case. And I'm not necessarily talking about mushrooms that, you know, uh, give you lots of pictures and sensations. I'm talking about the mushroom collective as a whole. And yeah, just a couple reasons why engaging more deeply with them, whether that's through food, medicine, or foraging, has really helped me on my path and helped me ground, feel more stable, and also helped my nervous system and just kind of finding more and more balance step by step. And so just kind of starting with foraging, um, I haven't like it hasn't even been that long. It's only been a handful of years since I went mushroom foraging for the first time with someone who actually knew what they were doing. And it was kind of a big deal. It really feels I really felt connected or reconnected with like that childlike self who's on a scavenger hunt and very in the moment and present while looking for them and kind of fascinated by all the different shapes and sizes and textures and colors and smells. And it's funny because walking around the forest, they were always there. They it's not like they just showed up that first time my foraging friend took me with, but sometimes you need someone to open that door, and that can be I mean, of course, that applies to many situations, but it definitely applies to the whole mushroom world. You almost have to retrain your attention and your vision to looking for these different patterns, on the ground and around you. I feel like that also relates a lot to the quantum healing sessions as well. You're going into those more fluid underworld spaces, kind of like, the under the ground where the mushrooms are getting up to all their main business. And you have to adjust your senses to this new space, and you're getting new methods of feeling and noticing and new sensory input and um kind of zooming in to layers of existence that you wouldn't have looked at otherwise. So that's like one of the gifts that they bring is just that like childlike wonder that they introduce, whether you're foraging or even whether you're kind of working with psychedelic mushrooms. Yeah, it opens this door to kind of like a childlike presence that we can get a little bit disconnected from when we get older. Another thing that I really love about them and a way in which they have helped me in life and also in this work is the sense of humor. If you connect to mushroom energies, whether through ingestion or through meditation, they're very humorous. They have a little bit of a trickster vibe, but they don't take life too seriously. And there's a feeling of kind of play and this ability to hold paradox, to hold two sides of the coin at the same time, be kind of laughing and crying or to make light of a kind of darker experience. So that is one thing that I really appreciate is that reminder from them to not take things too seriously, even if you're going through um, maybe a quantum healing session where you have slightly more painful or traumatic experiences come up to look at. It doesn't mean that those moments have to be so heavy. You can still bring humor into it. And whether in all healing work, also like within some of the shamanism courses that I took, it doesn't matter whether energy releases from your body through crying or through purging or through laughing or through dance or shaking, it's all on the energetic level, it's kind of uh, getting the job done. So if you're ever doing this kind of like altered state work and it's funny, then you can let that out and laugh. I had one session where was a fellow practitioner who held it for me. I ended up in a past life taking care of lots of cats, and we both couldn't help but laugh because it was just like so, I don't know, it was just a funny life to land in and to experience and to look at a life where you take care of hundreds of cats. Like, yeah, just unexpected. That surprise, that spontaneity, we really need that in our lives. And so that's one of the gifts that mushrooms share and that they teach is kind of that not taking stuff too seriously and to invite humor even into healing processes or into situations that could normally be heavy but don't necessarily always need to be. And then another thing that I've noticed from working with mushrooms or people who love mushrooms or uh, people who work with mushrooms like very consistently is this huge generosity. Um, in connecting to mushrooms myself too, it's like there's this inherent wish and desire and like principle in them of sharing knowledge, sharing moments, sharing connection, and anyone that I've met who works with mushrooms a lot is so generous with their knowledge, so willing to share, um, so willing to share tips and information and the mushrooms themselves if they've found a lot. And I just love that that reminder um, of always consistently sharing. There's this like omnipresent feeling of like a like that there isn't lack that there's no reason to hold on or hide information or keep it for yourself. Yeah, we can have these moments in our lives where we are feeling a little scared, fearful, like we need to hold on to things, whether it's like a person or a job or a situation or money, and we kind of like tighten up and tense up and keep it to ourselves. But mushrooms are a good reminder to let go and to always share and just continue sharing. Let the energy keep flowing. So that's another great lesson from them. And I think I'll keep it at that. Got so much more to say about them, but those are three big principles that I think that we learn from mushrooms and that have helped me with my work, with my quantum healing hypnosis work. Bringing humor into it when it's appropriate, being generous with time and energy and knowledge, and bringing that childlike wonder and approaching everything with new, fresh eyes, knowing that, first of all, there's so many layers and things for us to still know and learn, and also to keep that fresh mind with regards to every person who comes to me to do this work, and to always, yeah, keep that open mind and that wonder and that curiosity so that I can do the very best that I can with that client. So if you have any comments, questions, you can post them below. You can find all of my information on the website, including the possibility to book sessions, whether online or in person in Berlin. So thank you and see you next time.